Hello and welcome to TotoTCG. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back here with another Pokemon news update. So today we are bringing you the second of the 5 GXs which came out in Explosive Impact. Or I say came out, it's not even out yet. So we still haven't had some of the full arts. We've seen one, but we haven't covered it yet. We've seen one full art so far, or at least it's been released. But apart from that, we know what the GXs are, which is fair enough. We can do that. So I'll probably have to do an update video, hopefully probably next week. If not, could be this week, but probably next week. Just showing off those full arts. Fingers crossed they do look as good as these cards. But we are talking, of course, about a new GX right here. And if you can see by the border, you might, or the background, you might be able to tell that it is a water type. But what water type? Well, let's have a little look. So the water type in question is this guy right here, which is Suicune GX. So that means we have now all 4 of the legendary Gen 2 dogs. So let's go through this. We had Raikou GX, and that came out within a box. It was the Legends of Johto GX box. That also came with an Entei GX, which was a reprint from our Shining Legends set. So now we have all 3 of the legendary dogs. And this one looks insane. I think, hopefully you'll agree with me, I think this might be the better one of all 3. I'm putting my life out there, but I think it's the best out of all 3. So, without further ado, of course, it is a water Pokemon with a HP of 180. That's pretty good. At least it's not 170. Would have been nice to have been 190, but we can't argue 180 is pretty cool. And of course, it is a basic Pokemon, so you won't need to evolve it. It's Suicune. Suicune doesn't need to evolve. What's he doing? So that is pretty cool. So let's have a little look at that first ability. It's an ability on this one. Let's have a little look what it is. So it is called Phantom Wind. What does it do? Once during your turn, before your attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. Now, there could be several reasons why you do this. This might have been in the active. You bring it back up for something that is almost full HP. You then save it by doing its ability. Now, yes, you might be getting rid of 3 energies, you might be getting rid of a tool card, and you might be getting rid of a Pokemon. However, if you're smart, you might be able to get the energy back pretty quickly. You'll be able to get the Pokemon back pretty instantaneously through a Brooklet Hill, if you haven't used it yet already. But you're actually healing this thing completely, so you can almost restart everything, plus you're actually putting energies back into your deck. Which you might not want to put on this, you might want to put on something else you're playing, which could be pretty cool. Now, obviously, if this thing said, oh, shuffle the Pokemon back into your deck, but everything goes in the discard pile, that also could work very nicely, because you're putting water energies in the discard, aquapatching them back onto Pokemon which might want them, including this one, because if this comes back to the bench, you basically send it to your deck, you say, okay, I'll Brooklet Hill it back, so I won't even need to put it into your deck, sort of thing. If they need you to shuffle your deck, then do so. But, you know, it's entirely up to you. But a very cool ability indeed. Probably a really good ability coming from this set of Lost Thunder with so many GXs, so many cards. But a very cool one. Definitely looking forward to seeing what this full art is going to be like. I hope to see, hopefully it's sort of on a side angle. You can see the whole of Suicune. Hopefully the ribbons are all, the ribbon, because obviously he's got ribbons as well going around him. Looks insane. Really, really cool indeed. Love the look of the card as well. You can see in the background what looks like possibly a tree just by his purple sort of mane. Possibly something else, but a sunset nevertheless. He's in the ocean, water everywhere. It looks amazing. Love the card so much. Very, very cool. So let's have a look at the attack, which is called Cure Stream. For 2 water and 1 colourless. What does it do? So 120 damage. It's not bad. And during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks do 30 less damage. Now, it does say the defending Pokemon's attacks do 30 less damage. So, I think that means that if it does retreat, the defending Pokemon, regardless of which one you attacked, because it doesn't say the one that's damaged, it just says the defending Pokemon. So I'm not too sure. Maybe it goes, if you were to Guzma or switch it out, somehow it doesn't happen. But I'm thinking of something like Sizzle GX, when you do his attack and you do 80 damage, and then it takes 30 less from attacks. It doesn't mean from the one in the active. It's just overall, whatever comes up, whatever is taken away, the 30 damage is not put on to the Sizzle. That's what I'm sort of thinking about. In this case, it's 30 less damage. which could be pretty cool. So 120 with a choice band, 150. That's not bad. Might need something to bump up the numbers there. There might be a little helpline with this thing that could work quite nicely to round off some attacks. So let's have a little look at the GX, which I really don't know how to pronounce, so I'm going to definitely give it my best try. But it is again water and colourless. 2 water and colourless. I like how both the attacks are the same, but I'm going to say it's something like Brinkiel, Brinsile, something like that. Whether that is being misspelled, I don't know. But when I actually tried to type that in and say, how do you pronounce this? It came up where the C and the I were the other way round. I got no idea what that means in particular. Hopefully it will not be translated that way in English, because I'll literally just call it Bryn GX. I'd rather just call it Bryn GX, to be honest. So, what does it do in particular? Well, it does 150 damage, and then you switch this Pokemon with one of your benched. So, again, if you have a choice band on there, that's 180 damage, plus you're getting this out of the active, so it could have almost died, possibly in the previous turn from your opponent. You think, okay, I fancy doing a bit of damage, possibly get a knockout here, bring it back to the bench, then hopefully without them Guzmering you out, you can then next turn ability get this thing out. And of course you could Guzma yourself without using the GX, but it's a nice way of sort of getting it back on the bench and then think, okay, next turn I can use my ability. Good. So yeah, some pretty interesting moves, but I mean, like I said, out of the 3 legendary dogs, I think this one is the more playable one. From what I have seen, from what I've heard, Raikou is rubbish. No one plays Raikou. Entei I haven't seen at all, no one plays it, no one heard of it. But this one, I don't know, it could be an interesting one. I don't think it could be a deck on its own, but it could be a nice little sort of tech, maybe a tech card. But, you know, you could maybe run, I don't know, 3 Lapras, 3 of these, something like that. Obviously, Lapras is not really that big because Manaphy is now rotated. We've got Max Elixir, that's gone. So very quick speed decks are sort of not there at the moment. But you never know. This thing could be a very interesting one. Of course, you can just discard the energies and then Aqua Patch it onto the Pokemon. Then again, you've only got 4 Aqua Patches to use and then you're out. But I definitely hold out hopes for this guy. I think he could be an interesting one. So, of course, when the Pokemon is knocked out, it is a GX, so your opponent would take 2 prize cards. It is weak to grass, have resistance of nothing, and a retreat of 2, which, I mean, is okay. It's not the best, but then again, with its sort of ability and also the GX to help it get out of there and obviously heal itself, you haven't really got that much to worry about in terms of retreat, and plus the attack costs do cover it, and again, if you do get rid of 2 energies to retreat it, put it onto your bench, then possibly do the exact same thing I said when the ability happens. You get the ability, everything else goes back in the deck, including Suicune. You maybe use Brooklet Hill to bring it back onto the bench. Then you get 2 Aqua Patches, smack them back onto this thing. Happy days, it's healed and it's got 2 energies. And you could possibly attach that turn, or good. So, you know, there is that sort of thing to think about, which could be pretty interesting. So let's have a little look at what works. There's several things here. A lot of water types can help with this thing, and obviously tools. One being Aqua Patch. Attach 1 water energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. It can be anything. It can be basic, stage 1, stage 2, that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Brooklet Hill, like we've talked about, allows you to get out basic water Pokemon, seen as this is a basic. That's ideal. Then again, you are also allowing a basic Buzzwole possibly to come out because of the basic fighting, but you got to take that risk, and that could pay off nicely. Throw this in there just for a bit of fun. Gyarados Gx as well. It's an interesting card, but it doesn't see a lot of play because of the attack costs. This guy could be very interesting with this one. The Jet Geyser ability allowing you to mess up your opponent's sort of move set and everything. They have to choose, but they could bring up something that you could KO. But also, Sauna Blast is 100 to the active and 20 to everything on the bench. Again, that could be very good to help set up, so a very good Prism Star there. Palkia GX as well relies very much on getting the energies on there, and then it can do some pretty devastating attacks, so that's pretty cool. Fraligator, which will be coming out on our Dragon Majesty stat, a very nice attacker there. Could work quite nicely with that, and it is a Gen 2 starter, so that's pretty nice. Glaceon GX helps with the abilities and everything. Again, this one helps with setting up for the bench. Polar Spear GX as well, very good GX, because obviously you can utilise that Frost Bullet, putting damage on the bench to possibly get some good KOs. So that is very, very nice. We got Wishy Washy GX as well. Just some different water GXs, just smacking them around here. Of course, we do have Articuno GX, which came out in our Celestial Storm. I haven't put that here. We also have Lapras GX as well, which we'll plonk that there as well. That could work nicely. Maybe, you know, 3 of those, 2 of the Suicunes. Happy days. So it could be very, very interesting indeed. It's just a matter of having a little look at it and seeing what could play with it. But there's a lot of help with water decks, help with putting stuff on the bench, help with setting up, and help with getting the Pokemon out. So it's definitely a very, very interesting card. So very, very cool. So let's finish it off with the Guess the GX, the answer from yesterday's video. So I gave you that picture right there. What was that in particular? Well, it was Wishy Washy GX. Yeah, very much zoomed in on that fin there, but if you did manage to get that, well done. Very, very cool. And then let's have a look at the Guess the GX for today's video. So we got that picture there, that one there, and that one right there. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on what that is, as well as your thoughts on Suicune GX. Do you think it's a pretty cool GX? Is it going to possibly help water decks? Could it possibly get going with something else? I'm not too sure, but it could do. It could do. I definitely hold out hopes for Suicune. Definitely, I think, one of the top dogs out of all 3 that we've now seen. So yeah, there we go. I will leave it here for this video. If you guys have enjoyed, then make sure to hit that subscribe button below, as well as if you are new to the channel and finding me for the first time, hit the subscribe button below. Comment like I've said, and apart from that, I will see you guys in the next video on the channel for another GX, which will be coming up tomorrow. So I will see you guys in that video.